Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Martha Tian, and I lead vertical strategy for the media content team at Meta Reality Labs.
And I'm Sebastián Amengual. I'm the co-founder and CTO of YBVR, and I also lead the Xtadium team inside of our company.
1 second, technical difficulties. Oh, no. Well, how do we go back? Do we have our slides?
Yeah, can we get the slides here? Not the video? There you go.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So when people think about VR, the first thing that usually comes to mind is gaming, of course. But we believe that virtual reality lends itself to other use cases, including transforming the way that we consume media. Now, sports is a content category where we believe watching it in VR immersively truly differentiates the consumption experience. VR takes advantage of co-presence, so you can be in a shared environment with your friends and watch a game together. VR allows you to take advantage of multiple camera angles and different positions, allowing you to feel like you're really truly there in the stadium. And so after many meetings and lots of brainstorming with our partners, YBVR, we felt like this was a unique opportunity to build for this use case that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and in all those conversations, we kind of agreed that the right way to attack this problem was not to have separate standalone applications for each sport. That's really not the best user experience. It's not what gives like a consistent, easy experience for the end users, but the opposite. So we agreed, hey, let's build together the home of sports in VR, a place where users can go and they know here is where I find all my favorite sports, and that's what we said to.
Yeah. But at the same time, for sports, leagues, and tournaments, we realized that you have very valuable brands that you need to both leverage and protect. So in the design of Xtadium, we considered allowing partners to own their own branded space so that they can have a place dedicated for their content to live.
And YBVR was the right company to build this. We had been doing white label applications to watch sports in VR for over 5 years. We're the leaders in the industry, and we're really honored, as you can imagine, that Meta approached us to build this project together. And it's a real great partner to be together within this journey.
Yeah. So now you know how we created the vision for Xtadium, a way for fans to watch their favorite sports all in one place in one application. So now
can we now see the video? So Xtadium offers a unique set of capabilities, of features that basically didn't exist before in VR, at least not all of them together. Users can create private watch parties where they can invite their friends, and they can watch with the avatars of their friends. There's like avatar movement, voice communication, and they can navigate together across all the different rooms and watch content together. And all the content is synchronized, so whenever something happens, me and my friends, we see it happening at the same time. Users can also change camera, and you can select what camera you want to watch, and the camera changes instantaneous. And there's also like a set of interactive features such as statistics, overlays, picture-in-picture, so a complete set of features dedicated for sports. And we didn't forget about this about the sports partners, like the leagues, the tournaments. They also have their specific needs, right? And we know that monetizing in VR is not easy. There aren't so many tools for monetization, so we worked hard on that. We created tools for monetization like authentication, which means this product can and is being integrated with the OTT of some of these partners. So if a partner already has an OTT and the user is already paying a monthly subscription, they can use those credentials and access special immersive content inside of Xtadium. And ticketing, which is the user can just like buy a ticket to watch their live events. And ticketing is integrated with the in-app purchase system of the Meta ecosystem. So it's really seamless. It's really low friction for the users. And also for the partners, we know it's important to keep control of the brand, keep control of the content. So we put a lot of effort in separating each room. So each room has a different design, really consistent with the branding of all these partners, and the partners can keep control of the contents of the rooms.
Sorry, these buttons are pretty sticky. So we launched the Xtadium store on the MetaQuest store on November 10th with very strong user ratings and content from our top sports partners. It features live and on-demand access to some of our top partners, including MMA, racing, tennis, and basketball.
And over the next couple of months, we're integrating authenticated services, as I was mentioning, from some important partners. We can announce beIN Sports as one of the first ones that's going to be integrated. And stay tuned, because we have some other big players in the industry that are working already with us. We can't announce them yet. And of course, we'll continue our pace of immersive live events. So we'll keep doing more and more of those, and they're all available in the platform. And we're just getting started. This is just the beginning. We launched Xtadium November 10th, so barely a few weeks ago. And already mid-December, we're launching our first major update. So we're bringing, mid-December, we're bringing features like time shifting. So users can just like pause and rewind live events. And this is multi-camera time shifting. So you can rewind, change camera, and see it again from a different angle, including slow motion as well, and interactive statistics. So you can just like click on your favorite athlete and see more stats from that athlete, and some social features like emotes and in-user communication. And we're starting experimenting with MR, with mixed reality. So mixed reality is this concept where you put on a VR headset, but you can still see through the cameras, you can still see the real world. And so you're still connected to reality. You can still like drink and eat and see people around you, and we're bringing the sports to you. So we're bringing like virtual screens floating around you that you can control, you can interact with them, virtual statistics as well, stats panels floating around. And this is really a very exciting way of bringing all the content into the user's home in a different approach.
If it isn't already obvious, we're very excited about this launch, and we're excited about our future roadmap. So if you're interested in Xtadium, please come by our booth. We're happy to give you a demo, and thank you very much for your time.
Sebastian, Martha, thank you very much. If anybody has got any questions, either literally just stick your hand in the air and we'll bring a mic over to you. Otherwise, up on the screen behind me in about 5 seconds' time, you'll see a little QR code for Slido, and you can just stick that over your camera and then fire questions through, and I'll relay them. I've got quite a few questions. We've been doing a lot of discussion on, I guess, what I want to start with is almost the bigger picture. You exist as a company because of the metaverse, and we're seeing that go in large part of VR, of AR. Your boss literally renamed one of the biggest companies in the world and just really went the hammer and nail approach. What is it that makes you so confident? What is it that's feeding into this to say, we are so excited about this, and not just we believe it's going to work and it sounds exciting. What is it that makes you so confident that this is going to work, that the adoption is going to happen, that this is the future of fan engagement? I told you it's a big question.
That is a big question. I mean, I think from our perspective, it really boils down to the experience. When you get into the headset and you experience what it feels like to be front row, to be able to have that personalization and experience it in a new way, that is where our belief comes from. And I see it even more as we start building out our mixed reality capabilities. You know, when I put on the Pro headset for the first time just a couple months ago, I was like, wow, you could wear it for so much longer, and you could see both the real world as well as, you know, the overlay.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate how early we are in this journey, right? Like these VR headsets that we have today, even the Quest Pro, in the long picture, probably like decades from now, we'll be like, oh, that was a very early VR headset, right? Like there's so many things in the technology that are still very primitive. And we know, and as an engineer, I can tell this is going to evolve a lot. And it's already great, right? Like if you imagine the vision, like of your headset where you don't see the pixels, where the precision, the clarity is the same as in real life, where it's very ergonomic, it's simple, it's battery lasts longer. All those things will happen. This is just like technical advances that just take time, take years. Once we get to that point, it's impossible that doesn't become a huge thing in the world, right? Because that experience is magic, basically. It's like bringing things into your living room or taking you to other worlds. That's just dreaming in real life. Right?
Before I come on to a couple of the questions, so with that, it's inevitable, effectively, is
pretty much
the response.
Yeah.
I think often when we're speaking on space, especially in the kind of the main stages, it's tier one platforms, it's tier one rights holders. They're looking at this and saying, we've got the resource, we've got the budgets to be able to bring on the expertise. What if you're not the NBA? What if you're not the NFL? What if you are tier two, tier three? You've got limited resource, you've got limited experience, even knowledge about how this works. Where do you start?
So we have some partners that are not that big right now in Xtadium. We have World Surf League, for example, that it's not a tier one, and we work with them, and they have a room in Xtadium, so it's possible. And for us as YBVR, one of our main concerns from the beginning, from many years ago, was to be capital efficient, was to do our immersive productions, the technology, the whole solution, as efficient as possible to keep the costs down. So this is not as expensive as you might think, and not as expensive as this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, there are tier twos that are having their space in Xtadium, and of course tier ones, definitely.
Excellent. Right, we'll move on to a couple of the audience questions. The first one is from our most frequent questioner, which is anonymous. Headset watch time is always a concern with sports partners. Are you able to keep users in the headset?
Well, I think, again, when I was referencing mixed reality, I'm optimistic that it's going to also allow for longer watch times. It's a lot more comfortable to wear for longer periods of time. But we're also exploring, as part of the broader universe, other ways for people to access the metaverse, and not just in headset as well.
Yeah, and we have some metrics on this, right? Like, for example, we did the EuroLeague Final Four with virtual ticketing with them, and the watch times were really huge, over an hour on average. So users were really motivated. It depends a lot on the experience. If you do the right experience, the right cameras, the right video sharpness, it's engaging, watching times can be significant. And a big part of that, it's still the ergonomics of the headset, it's still the technology, is still primitive. So year after year, we see new headsets in the market. Meta just launched one right now, and this is just going to keep increasing.
I think we all find that with the ergonomics of wearing face masks for 2 years as well, so
yeah.
similarities
People
there.
are more tolerant now to having something on their face, right?
Exactly. Next question. Can you explain how virtual ticketing works?
Yeah, so we support 2 different ways of doing virtual ticketing. As I said, the thing we did with EuroLeague, we did the entire production, ticketing, everything, white label application with EuroLeague. And the ticketing was integrated with an external ticket provider. So the user would buy a ticket on your regular Ticketmaster, whatever you're using page. You get a code, and with that code, you can go into the devices. VR headset, there was even like a mobile version of it. Just type the code, and it gives you access to the application. The other approach to virtual ticketing is integrating it with an in-app purchase system of the headset, of the Meta Quest platform, which as a user, you already have your payment methods in the platform, same as you will have like in your iOS app store, right? And you just press buy, press accept confirmation, and it gets charged automatically to you as a user. And then we just organize the billing internally. So that's a better approach because it's very frictionless. You just press buy, it really helps for impulsive purchase. Okay, there's a game now, I didn't know, but it's $5, I'll just buy it, right?
Hopefully, anonymous, that was clarity enough on how the ticketing works. One final question for both of you before we finish, which is actually more of a personal perspective. So you guys probably spend more time with headsets on than the rest of us until this inevitable wave hits us. What, from your personal perspective, what is it that when you're in it, what's the experience you love most? What's your go-to sport? Is it sitting on the front row of the EuroLeague? Is it putting a headset in and going in and watching the World Surf League? What is it, you personally, what's your best experience? What's your favorite experience in the meta world?
I think recently we did NBA lane experience around the playoffs. And so now we were combining both the metaverse and the world, as well as the content and highlights from some of the live games. And that combined both like a social experience as well as that watching. And for us, I felt like that was perhaps the future of the secret sauce of bringing in fandoms as well as the content.
Yeah, for me, one of the big partners we have in Xtadium is NASCAR, and I'm personally like a big motorsports fan. So just the possibility of like watching from perspectives that don't exist, you know, like we have a camera really close to the turns, you see the cars driving right in front of you, or going to the onboard cameras and being just like sitting inside of the car and seeing the action from one car or the opposite. For me, that's amazing, and that's something that doesn't exist in any other environment, any other platform. You can watch on TV, on your phone, you don't feel like you're there.
Do you think with that then we're going to be living vicariously through motorsport drivers and a lot more armchair drivers going, this feels all right. I don't know what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that presentation, and thank you for the answers to the questions as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.